Hello, everyone, and welcome to the A&B podcast, where two blokes chat about some of the entertainment news that has occurred over the last week. I'm Alex Winfield, and I'm joined by Birkendu Manley. How are you, my friend?
I'm fantastic, and good morning, Vietnam.
For international, one maybe international viewer, yeah.
Exactly.
You need to do it the Robin Williams version. Scream it into the mic.
I would, but my throat can't handle that at the moment.
People start falling out their chairs as soon as they hit play,
Oh God. But
throwing their headphones across the room.
brilliant.
But yeah, it's been a while. We skipped last week because literally the day we were recording, just some big personal stuff happened, and I was like, you know what, I can't talk about Ghost of Tsushima right now. So, but that we're gonna cover everything that happened last week, as well as some of the stuff that's happened this week. But when it came to the movie news, I only really had two topics to talk about, and that was going to be the Avatar 2 set photo, which I don't know if you saw, and the New Mutants date, and that was about it.
Yeah,
But now we've got a whole bunch of stuff.
exactly. Yeah, and I did actually see the Avatar 2 pictures, and honestly, I could give less of a two shits.
I think it's one of those things where lots of people are like, I don't care about the Avatar sequels, and then the trailer's going to come out, and they're going to be like, "Whoa!"
The thing is, I imagine visually it's going to be something pleasing, but I'm more curious to see what movie they're going to rip off this time.
Right. I mean, there's which one? There's four. They're filming 4 Avatar sequels right now.
Jesus.
4 of them.
That's a bit
Go
of an
hard or go
overload.
home. Yeah. I'm just interested. It already looked pretty good when the film came out. I wonder what it's gonna look like now. Although I'm not gonna lie, when they were like, "This is the best CGI in any movie ever," I was kind of a little bit bummed out. I was kind of a bit bummed out because if you just looked at any video game cinematic trailer,
Mm-hmm.
that I was convinced. Have you seen the cinematic trailer for Assassin's Creed Brotherhood?
I have, yes.
I thought that was real. When I first saw it. I mean, admittedly, I
Uh,
was only 12 years old, but I was like, "Whoa! They actually built all of this." But no. So when I saw Avatar, I was like, "Okay, no, I can still tell this is fake." But I'm excited to see what they're going to do with it. But speaking of stuff like that, we're jumping in before we've even really begun. Have you watched anything this week, movie wise?
well, I haven't watched any movies. For some reason, I just keep watching TV shows. As I was mentioning to you earlier, I did get round to watching the second season of You, which is, it's good fun watching a serial killer go mad again.
Yeah, it's
As you
always good.
do. How about yourself?
I've watched a fair bit of stuff. Finished the first season of The Last Kingdom. Currently about halfway through the second season. Really liking it. Really liking it. And film wise, I've now finished watching all the Roger Moore Bond films.
Brilliant.
I gotta say, they were really. It was basically Austin Powers at some point, like Moonraker and stuff like that. It was pretty much just Austin Powers, but
Oh.
I love Roger Moore so much. He's such a banter lord.
He's so creepy.
No, but I lived for all of the quips that he said, and he looked like a pretty good Bond for up until about Moonraker, and then from then on, as much as I love him, I'm like, you are too old to be playing this, mate. Those I finished watching. I also watched In Bruges. Have you ever seen In Bruges?
I've not seen In Brood, but I've seen, I think it's Seven Psychopaths.
Yeah, yeah. The other, yeah. What's it? I can't remember his name. Martin McDonough.
Yeah,
I
I
think
think
that's
so.
the director's
Yeah.
name. Yeah. Yeah, I rewatched In Bruges. I'd seen it once before, but then on Saturday, given the personal circumstance that happened, I was like, I need to watch something that's going to cheer me up. So I watched In Bruges.
Damn. Isn't that movie really violent?
Kind of a little bit. It's I mean, it's not any violence that does happen. It's right at the end, and it's very sparse.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but I do really enjoy it, and Ray Fiennes in that film is so funny. He's so funny. You're an inanimate fucking object is the best is the best insult I've ever heard in my life with the context of the movie.
Okay.
But
Well, I'll
It's
have
so
to.
good. I'll have to send you just that one clip.
Yeah, yeah. I'll also check the
Oh,
movie out. Like I've been meaning to get round to it. It's just I've never, for some reason, had the time.
just a terrible person. Uh, but when it comes to the world of movies, we've got quite a few, a lot of stuff's happened just in the last like couple days. Um, the big one that happened this morning, one that put a big old smile on my face, was the new Tenet trailer. I keep saying wanting to say Tenant, like David Tennant,
Yeah,
but no, it's just Tenet trailer. Have you seen it? What did you think?
I did see it, and it does look very intriguing. And as far as I'm aware, that Hans Zimmer is not coming back for this.
Is he not?
No, I believe it's Ludwig Göransson. I think that's how you pronounce his name.
Okay, that name kind of rings a bell. I don't know what
Yeah,
they've done.
I think they might have done the Community soundtrack at some point, but that's as far as I remember. But I know that because apparently they said that Hans Zimmer turned Nolan down to do Dune instead.
Oh, I mean that makes sense.
Yeah,
Yeah, I mean you've worked with that guy for so long. I mean,
God
you might want to.
forward.
No, no, he wants to diversify the portfolio because it's either Nolan or comic book films. He seems
Yeah,
to
that's
do
very
now, isn't
true.
it?
Yeah, I mean, he said he
Yeah,
retired from comic book films, didn't he?
yeah, but now he's doing Wonder Woman 1984.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah. His retirement lasted a whole 5 minutes, I think.
Oh,
But I
God.
mean, I'm not complaining. It's still he still makes slappers, I must say.
Yeah, 100%.
Banger, bangaroos.
But no, I'm
But
very
yeah,
excited for this movie. Like, it's got
so am I.
everything's going backwards. What?
Yeah, I had a. That's what I'm kind of miffed about. I wrote this like cool short that had like this whole thing that went backwards in time,
Mhm.
but can't make it now, I guess.
Amazing.
um, yeah, what I was happy to see was that in the description it still says it's coming out in July,
Okay.
and they make the very big point, right at the end of the trailer. It's just coming to theaters. You know,
Mhm.
like it's a big thing that this, like it's almost like this is the return of the cinema. You know,
Yeah.
um, yeah, and it's cool that it's trying to prevent World War III, but with like time manipulation. And Kenneth Branagh is like a Russian villain who can quote communicate with the future.
Okay.
Yeah, and did you catch? When they were saying from Christopher Nolan, the director of this, when they had the visionary director of the Dark Knight trilogy,
Yeah.
they had that come up. The next shot was of Robert Pattinson,
Yeah, no, I saw that. Yeah.
that's how they introduced him.
Yeah.
And they had him catching bullets instead of firing them.
Yeah, no, I thought it was really weird. I was like, "Wait, what?"
Yeah,
Because I
yeah.
thought
How many? One, yeah, sorry, you carry on.
I thought that the plot was gonna be that they had to stop an assassination attempt, and that's why he was catching bullets.
Mm.
But
Yeah, I didn't know what it was about. This is the question I want to ask you. How many times do you think you're gonna have to watch this film to actually understand what's happening?
well, that depends because I know people moaned about Inception making no sense, which I don't
And
understand
Interstellar.
how because it does, and as you say, Interstellar as well. Um, but like you said, this one does look like it may be the most confusing out of all of them. Like,
Yeah, I still didn't fully understand what they were. It's like I don't know how you're saying it or what you're saying, but I like how it sounds.
yeah, yeah, that's the thing because I think Inception, I don't think is that hard to grasp as a concept. Once you understand the way it works with the layers, you can wrap
Mm,
your head around it. But yeah,
yeah,
this one looks like because time is a very delicate thing to manipulate and make a film out of. Cough Terminator. Uh, so yeah, it's gonna be very interesting. And like you said, this feels like an event movie. Which,
it really does. Yeah,
and we haven't had one of those in ages.
no, yeah, I'm so excited for it though because it's like this. It really does feel like this is doesn't just feel like just like a film. This feels like the return of the movie theater. You know?
Hmm. Yeah, no, I totally
Yeah.
agree. And I think the also intriguing thing about it is as well that, like, unlike Dunkirk, which is obviously kind of based on a true story, this is like Nolan's own concept idea, which makes it more compelling.
That's the thing. I'm like, how does he think of this stuff? Does he see the whole world in just this weird time manipulation?
He's a time
You know,
traveler.
I don't know.
That's how he knows.
How many? We're going to be coming out of the cinema quoting the film. We'll be coming out saying, "Oh, I haven't seen it yet." You know?
That's clever. I like that. Yeah,
Yeah.
I thought in the trailer it would say coming to theaters backwards.
Yeah. I wonder if you can watch this film backwards.
You might be able to actually, because he did that with what's its name? Memento? That's backwards, isn't
Oh,
it?
what can you watch? Like, yeah, it's kind of yeah. Some bits are set in the. I haven't seen it in quite some time, but yeah, it's told out of order. Some bits are
Yeah.
black and white, some bits are in color, all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, he's an auteur, and he
Yeah,
likes to mess with time. Because I
yeah,
remember I had to do
yeah,
I did an essay on him and like Interstellar and everything. The spaceship looks like a clock and everything, and I had to like analyze all his concepts. Like everything he does is always about time.
yeah. He's even in Dunkirk, which I thought was going to be his most straightforward movie. No, it involves something to do with time. You know how they were all being told at different points. Can't help himself.
Everyone's got their
Um,
own, their own voice.
yeah, but speaking of, I guess, big studio movies, uh, a secret Sony Marvel movie gets a director. So S.J. Clarkson will direct a female-centric movie for our favorite film series, Spunk, Sony Pictures Universe of Marvel characters,
Uh,
and so S.J. Clarkson has directed episodes of Jessica Jones and Dexter and Collateral. She was originally going to be doing Star Trek 4. I don't know if that's still happening. I mean, probably not if she's now doing this. Um, but yeah, so it's not 100% clear what the film will be about, but it could very well be the Madam Web movie, which was announced in September last year. But other possibilities are Spider Woman and Spider Gwen. What do you think of this? Would you be interested in a Madam Web film?
I don't actually know much about this character, so I'd be intrigued to see what they do with it.
Well, she's like a blind person who just sits in a chair and sees loads of other realities. To be honest with you,
So she's like what, Doctor Strange in a way then?
imagine Doctor Strange was blind and just sat down the whole time
That's still kind of intriguing, to be
and did
fair.
no fighting whatsoever.
So would
It
that
could be like
mean?
a weird existential. This feels like a film that Christopher Nolan would be
Yeah, that's what I
making.
was gonna say. Like, would it mean that you're just watching a bunch of different realities play out?
Potentially, maybe that's how you can do the Spider-Man actor crossover.
True. No, I'd be intrigued to see what they do with it, just because like it's not a character that's well known, and I think in a way that's kind of interesting to bring them to the screen. Because obviously
Mm,
you always get your Jokers and like your Green Goblins and everything like that, and like eventually that kind of gets boring. While if you bring in these like or like not as well known characters, it could make them popular. So
yeah.
might be
Well,
interesting.
I'm surprised. I'm surprised we haven't heard anything about a Spider-Gwen movie because I mean, the Tom Holland universe isn't using Gwen Stacy, and she was really well received in Spider-Verse.
See, I think what could happen is after a Spider Verse sequel, we could see a spin off from that.
They have. I think they've announced that they're doing one,
Oh, are they? Okay.
a Spider-Gwen spin-off with a bunch of other characters. But yeah, I'm surprised that hasn't been talked about more. You know?
Well, that's the thing, because if you do Spider Gwen, then where does it stop? Because then you'd probably end up doing
Yeah.
Spider Pool and then whatever.
Well, see, that's what they should have done. Instead of leave this Venom Morbius stuff, just do derivatives of Spider-Man. Let's do Spider-Woman, Spider-Gwen, Spider-Ham, Spider-Man Noir, Spider-Man 2099. Let's do all of it,
I would love to see a
apart from
Spider Man
actual
Noir
Spider-Man.
remake. Spider Man Noir
We
movie with
keep,
Nicolas Cage. I would love that.
yeah, keep Nicolas Cage. Yeah.
Oh, that'd be so good. Like, especially if you give him like that Big Daddy kind of vibe. I'm on board.
Yeah, yeah. But speaking of films of the comic book genre, this I think was by far the biggest story, um, potentially even of the year, movie wise, which was the Zack Snyder cut of Justice League is finally happening. Are you excited about this at all?
I'm. I don't know. I don't know how to really feel. Like, obviously, I'm intrigued to see what Schneider's version of this movie is going to be, but at the same time, personally, when I watched Justice League, I just didn't feel anything. Like that movie just felt so flat that I'm kind of past the point of caring.
Well, shall I give you some more info on the Snyder Cut?
Go for it.
Because there was this giant Hollywood, I think it was a Hollywood Reporter who did this giant article about it. So Zack Snyder, of course, he shot his cut of Justice League, but then had to exit the project after shooting his cut due to a family tragedy. His daughter committed suicide, so he had to leave the project. And Joss Whedon came on board and did a bunch of reshoots and did all of the post production for the film. So after years of fans and like even cast members like Gal Gadot, Ben Affleck, Jason Momoa all saying release a Snyder Cut, and even fans came together and paid for a billboard in Times Square to show hashtag release the Snyder Cut. It's now actually happening. So Zack Snyder shared it on his live watch along with Man of Steel. They had a bunch of fans come on as well and chat with him, and Henry Cavill then came in, and that's when they announced it. And the Snyder Cut's going to premiere on the streaming service HBO Max in 2021, because that was the thing. Like they probably wanted to do it before, but they were like, we can't really put this in cinemas. But this is now like a good outlet for them. And there's no exact date as to when it's going to come out, but it just says 2021 for now. So the current cut of the film is 4 hours long.
Oof.
There's no word yet on if it's going to be released as one big movie or it's going to be split into like episodic chapters like Quentin Tarantino did with The Hateful Eight on Netflix. So it could be 6 half-hour episodes or something like that. Warner Brothers are going to be spending $20 to $30 million on the cut, as there's currently literally no visual effects or any post-production has been done on the footage. Zack Snyder in the article said that only about 1/4 of what he shot is in the current cut. So a good 75% of that 2017 Justice League film is Joss Whedon. I've got a list of some stuff that's included in the Snyder Cut. That's been I found from lots of online resources and all that. Some of them are slight spoilery, so I'll kind of dance around them. But you would have potentially, you wouldn't have that Danny Elfman score. You'd probably get like a Hans Zimmer or a Junkie XL score, because that's who was originally supposed to do the Justice League soundtrack. You know, the same people who did Man of Steel and Batman v Superman. The film won't open with the cell phone footage of Superman with his CGI lip. You would actually get no CGI Superman mouth at all, you know. Instead, it's actually going to begin with this big invasion of Earth that happened, you know, thousands of years ago, and it's being told by Wonder Woman, similar to, you know, the beginning of like Fellowship of the Ring.
Mm-hmm.
You know how they do the big exposition on how, this is the world, this is what's happened. And Darkseid was leading the invasion, not leaving. I've had enough, see you lads. Not Steppenwolf. And Darkseid was defeated and Steppenwolf was banished, and the whole film is him trying to redeem himself to Darkseid and get the approval of him again. So that's why he's doing what he's doing. So that weird scene of Batman fighting that criminal on the rooftop of that CGI rooftop in Gotham, where he's clean shaven, and then the next scene he's got a full on beard, that's gone. So instead, the first time you've seen him, it's him finding Aquaman. There's way more scenes with Jesse Eisenberg's Lex Luthor, because he said they all got cut. The bomb scene with Wonder Woman, the one that happens in London, actually fails, and you can see it going off in early trailers. You're introduced to Barry Allen when he saves Iris West in a scene where the scene is actually online. He smashes through this glass wall and he grabs her from this crashing car, and then he choke slams her and brings her to the floor like he does. Anyway, and then we get an origin story of Cyborg. You see him as like a full human, as a football star, and you actually see the car crash that kills him. Kills his mum, and injures him. And then we get scenes of Willem Dafoe's character, who was from Aquaman, who was actually completely cut from the film. And you see lots of other stuff like Cyborg fighting with Steppenwolf in Star Labs, where his dad actually was supposed to die. And, in the fight between Superman and the rest of the Justice League, Superman doesn't actually say anything. And he goes to visit Alfred and all that. Um, yeah, there's so much stuff that's going to be happening in it.
Okay.
Yeah, does this get you any more interested?
So to answer the first question, will it be, episodic, or are they going to release it as one whole thing? Considering it's on HBO Max, which is a subscription-based streaming service, I think it's going to be episodic, because then obviously you can keep more people continuously, like, continuing to subscribe or whatever. Um, in that regard, now in terms of the content, I would say, it's a bit more intriguing to see what he would have done with certain characters' stories and everything like that. But at the same time, it does feel like it won't be that much different of a movie, because obviously, even with the cutting room floor stuff, like, and you know how you were saying that Schneider said that they would, like, what was it, like a fourth of his movies in the movie?
Yeah.
Apparently, he also said he'd never seen Justice League. So
Oh, he must have.
how does that work?
Feel like he had to have done.
Like, because I heard something that he said that he had never seen it, but then to say that,
He probably reluctantly did it, yeah.
yeah,
But he's got to watch it, right? He
exactly.
has to have watched it.
Like,
Because he did this big pitch apparently in February with all these big Warner Brothers execs, where he had to be like, "Here's what my film would be." Yeah, so he probably had to have seen it to be like,
yeah,
"Here's how it differs." Otherwise, they're not going to be like, "Can I have $30 million to make the same film, please?"
well, yeah, exactly. But like, I'm intrigued to see what he does with the certain plot lines that have been laid out. Obviously, like, because let's be honest, Josh Whedon's Justice League isn't great. Uh,
I mean, I'd go a bit further than that, but yeah,
um, but I like Zack Schneider. He's a good cinematographer. Um,
he's a very visual director.
yeah, he's
Yeah,
a very see. My thing with Schneider is that give him a comic book and tell him to shoot it shot for shot, and he's amazing. Don't let him touch the writing at all, for the love of God. But otherwise, I do like the man. I mean, I hope that this does well for him and the cast and everything, because they all seem very passionate about it. But well, we will have to see. But I will say I'm reluctantly excited. How about that?
yeah. I'm optimistic. I'm a little bit excited,
Yeah.
but I'm trying to keep my optimism like in check. You know,
Well, that's the thing, because like Steppenwolf is a terrible villain. Let's be honest. He did come.
he wasn't really even a character. I would go so far as to say.
For me personally, he just felt like one of those, like, ice trolls that you have in Thor or whatever.
Yeah, yeah.
Ice giants, I think they were. I don't know, something like that.
Frost
That's
giants.
the one. But yeah, no, that's the thing. He just felt like such a meh villain. And like, the only thing I really remember from that movie is Aquaman sitting on the lasso of truth, Batman meeting the Flash, and the bomb scene with Wonder Woman at the beginning, and the mustache. That's
The
literally
mustache.
that's all I
Well,
remember.
the lack of a mustache.
Yeah, basically. That's literally all I remember.
Yeah. Um. Well, speaking of other big action movies, I don't know if I've asked you about this. Have you seen Mad Max Fury Road?
I have. I actually kind of didn't like it, but
What?
no, I really
How
did.
come?
I just like. I love the practical effects of it and everything, but the
I will
story,
say it is a strange film. It's a
like,
strange film
I loved it practically, but it just the story for me just felt a bit flat. Like, personally,
because
like,
they got. Well, I mean, yeah, they got to go. It's like a big 2 hour car chase, really, isn't
yeah,
it?
that's the thing. I was hoping to see more Mad Max, but it just felt more like a Furiosa movie.
Well, it's funny you mentioned that, Birkin, because that's what we're getting. We're getting George Miller, the director of Mad Max 1, 2, 3, and 4, is coming back to make a Mad Max prequel spin off about the Furiosa character.
Okay.
Furiosa's won't be a de-aged Charlize Theron, but it's going to be played by a different actress completely. The actress that they want is rumored to be like in their 20s, and the rumors are saying that it could be Anya Taylor-Joy. You know who that is?
I have no idea who that is.
Have you seen Glass or Split?
I saw Split roughly, but I really don't remember it.
She's the main girl in Split. What else could you have seen her in? She's in the upcoming New Mutants movie, the one with the blonde hair.
Oh, I know who you mean. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yes, yeah, her.
Okay.
Yeah, would you be up for that at least?
I could see it. Yeah, why not? I mean, it'll be interesting to see what and how they expand on that world because that world is very strange. Like,
Yeah,
yeah, it's a very weird. Like, it's a good idea. Don't get me wrong, but I could be excited for it. Why not? At least it'll practically be exciting, won't it?
exactly. Yeah, it'd be interesting to look at for sure. Because that was called like one of the best films of that year as well. So
Did
I'm surprised they didn't fast track another one. It got nominated for Best Picture of the Year.
did it make much money?
You know what? Let me look this up. Mad Max Fury Road. Let's have a look. I'm Wikipediaing, trying to fill in the dead air.
Because yeah, because I don't think it made a lot. Did it?
It made 375 million on a budget of 150. So I
Yeah,
think it was just under made its money back.
yeah, it's
But I don't know.
it's,
Yeah,
it's expensive.
yeah. Well, some people say that's one of the best action films ever made. What I think was one of the best action films ever made was Mission Impossible Fallout. Did you?
I really
Oh,
like
nice
that
segue there.
movie. I
I think that's
absolutely
one of the best films I've ever seen. Probably in my top
the
five, top 10 easily.
the scene with the helicopter.
Yeah.
Fantastic. I absolutely love that man.
Uh, yeah, it's. I think it's so good. Just the practicality of it all, the fact that
Mhm.
Tom Cruise is doing all of that
Yeah.
is insane. And Mission Impossible 7 is something they have actually. Well, I think they're starting to film. They're going to be filming very soon. Um, I think 7 and 8 are going to be like a two-parter, and that's going to be it.
Oh, finale.
Um, yeah,
Oh, I'm gonna be sad to see that end.
uh, yeah, and it's yeah. So they're filming them back to back. So Mission Impossible 7 comes out 2021. Mission Impossible 8 comes out 2022. Um, and they've been Christopher McQuarrie, who directed 5, 6, and he's going to be directing 7 and 8, has been putting up pictures on his Instagram of actors who are joining the film. So we've had people like Haley Atwell is going to be in this one, as well as a bunch of like Pom Clementeith from Guardians of the Galaxy. She's also joining, and then Nicholas Hoult was actually cast as the villain. Do you know who any of these people are?
Yeah, I do. I had a look at the list of people. I think Vanessa Kirby's in it as well.
Yeah. But because of the COVID-19 scenario has shaken up a lot of actor schedules, Nicholas Hoult is actually now out of Mission Impossible 7, and he's now been replaced by, and I think I've said this right, Isaiah Morales,
The guy that
who
played
was
Dell in Ozark.
yeah in Ozark. He is now the villain of Mission Impossible 7. What do you think of this?
Yeah, sure, why not? I mean, I absolutely love the Mission Impossible movies and the series, and I'm very excited to see how it all ends and how Mr. Cruise tops it all with his mad stunting and everything like that. I mean, I'm surprised they haven't gone into space yet. There's that, but like,
Well, Tom Cruise is going to
I
space, so
remember we talked about it in the previous episode. If you don't know about it, check it out. That's what I'm saying. But yeah, but no, as you say, it's a fantastic franchise, and I'm very excited to see the Ozark dude play the villain. I mean, I thought he was a pretty good villain in Ozark as well. And I'm mainly surprised that it's ending and they're not doing a spin off with Jeremy Renner because that's what they were meant to be doing.
well, Jeremy Renner was actually meant to take over the whole
Yeah,
franchise.
that's what I remember being talked about.
Yeah, well, I think after the success of, I think 4 was meant to be the testing ground,
Hmm.
but people liked 4 so much. 4 was almost even um, like a big, like almost how Fast and Furious 5 was like the big rebirth of that franchise. That's kind of what 4 was for Mission Impossible, and I think people liked Tom Cruise in it so much they just kept him around. I mean,
Oh,
Jeremy Renner wasn't even in the last one.
yeah, it was like a soft reboot, wasn't it?
Yeah, well, Jeremy Renner was too busy playing Hawkeye.
Yeah,
That's the whole reason why he couldn't do it. But yeah, I think because Tom Cruise now he's going to be 60 years old by the time the last one comes out. So I think they're clearly just trying to put a neat bow on the whole thing, you know.
so, he
And
does not look 60. Like genuinely, I thought he was like 42 or something.
he is. I love Tom Cruise. Where is he? Tom Cruise. Whatever he's injecting into his face, he's 57.
Damn,
He's going
man's
to be
in good
58
shape.
this year.
Man's in good shape. I'll say that much.
Yeah, yeah.
But
Jumping out of planes all day. That's probably what it does for you.
but no, I'm very excited for it. Really enjoy that series, and it's going to be quite intriguing to see how that all wraps up.
I really think Mission Impossible is like the best action franchise out there.
I
I think it tries to push the whole genre every single movie.
Mhm.
It tries to do something different, you know. Whereas lots of action movies just play it safe.
I personally prefer it to James Bond, if I'm honest.
That's because it's better than James Bond, Birkin.
I
It's
agree.
because it's objectively better. As much as I love James Bond, yeah, I'm even watching them now. I can say Mission Impossible is better. I mean, you know.
I think it's because Mission Impossible is very self-aware of what it is, while James Bond tries too hard.
Yeah, I mean, James Bond has this, and I can say this objectively now after watching so many of them. They start off serious and then they slowly get silly. Then they're like, oh, we went too silly, so go back to normal.
Yeah.
Then it slowly happens all over again. You know, it happens every single time.
Do you
You
remember?
know,
Do you remember that time when the Mission Impossible and I think it was Skyfall came out and they had like the same plot?
that was, yeah. So Mission Impossible 5 and Spectre they came out like only a few months apart and they had the exact same plot.
Yeah.
It was, you had Alec Baldwin in Mission Impossible being like, "Oh, the IMF need to become a part of the CIA, and there's no reason to have the IMF around." And then, literally a few months later, you had Spectre come out, and it's like, "Oh, the Double O programs, it's too old. It doesn't need to be around. They should be part of MI5." You know?
I think the last time that something like that happened was I think it was Dark Knight Rises and Age of Ultron, where they both had the nuke.
Wait, what? An Age of Ultron? Sorry.
Where the last time two movies had a similar plot at the same time they got released. I think it was Dark Knight Rises and Age of Ultron with their nuke thing.
I mean, they were 3 years apart.
Okay, maybe it wasn't Age of Ultron. Maybe it was the
Oh wait, are you
Avengers.
talking the first
Am I think
Avengers?
it might be the first Avengers then? Because I'm pretty sure
Yeah,
they
because
had
they
like
tried
the
to
same
nuke the
plot.
city with that.
Yeah, they had like the
Yeah.
same plot.
Kind of, yeah, they came out the same year. Yeah, Age of Ultron, they tried to chuck a city into the planet, didn't
Oh
they?
yeah. That movie's not good.
Yeah. I enjoy it, but I even remember in the cinema when they were like, "Yeah, we're going to turn this city into an asteroid." I was like, "I beg your pardon."
See, I only like that movie for two things, and
Well,
that's
oh no, I know what it is. Elizabeth Olsen.
yeah, and Vision.
Yeah,
I couldn't really care about the rest. I mean, Hawkeye's all right in it as well. I'll give him credit, which he doesn't get. I'm just saying. I am a Hawkeye defender to this day.
yeah. um, but that's it. Everything I have for movie news. I shall let you take it from here.
Okay, so in terms of some TV news, recently the Umbrella Academy trailer for season 2 dropped, which is coming out July 31st. Now, this trailer was very intriguing because it seemed like it was just the cast dancing in a Zoom call.
Yeah, that's what I saw. Yeah.
Yeah, no,
What was that?
I thought it was quite amusing. Like, it was
Yeah.
pretty cleverly done.
Mm.
But I'm very excited for this. How about you?
I got to admit, I haven't seen Umbrella Academy.
Oh, right. Okay, I did not know
I
that.
have not seen it. I've heard nothing but good things. It looks interesting. I think I'm a bit tired out when it just comes to the superhero TV genre in general.
See,
Because I think I was watching Doom Patrol,
Mhm.
and then this was around at like the same time, and I think it just felt very similar. So I don't think I think that's the reason why I didn't check it out. I know that there's like a monkey butler,
Yes.
as much as I know.
So yeah, the show is made by Gerard Way, the lead singer of My Chemical Romance. If you didn't know,
What?
yeah, but no, yeah, he's the like creator of this and like I guess writer supposedly because he did make the comic. But and it's very intriguing. I've not seen Doom Patrol. I've heard that apparently that's quite good. Um, But
Brendan Fraser is a robot, man.
yeah, I've heard about this. Yeah, what?
Yeah, godly stuff.
But like the show is good and humorous, and it's got good old Nathan from Misfits. I don't know the actor's name. Uh,
Oh yeah, I know who you mean though.
yeah,
Misfits is so good.
Misfits was good. Was
It was. I stopped watching it after season 3 because I
good.
thought, well,
It gets
season 3 was so clearly meant to be the ending,
like the rest after that is awful.
and I saw that they recast everyone for season 4 and 5, and I
Yep.
was like,
So basically,
what?
everybody kept leaving, and I
Yeah,
think it
that's
was
what I saw.
Curtis
Yeah,
ended up being the like last member from the original lot, and then it just went downhill after that.
yeah. I don't get why, but it was like season 3 was clearly supposed to be the ending. You know?
Yeah, it's just one of those shows that went on for too long.
Yeah.
But
Um.
otherwise,
Anyway, with Umbrella Academy though, so are you excited for this then?
I'm very excited for this. Personally, the first season really surprised me, and I, like yourself, am not the biggest fan of superhero TV shows. However, because Umbrella Academy is different, just like The Boys was, I'm very open to it. So that's what made me intrigued, and that's why I really enjoyed it. So I'm very much looking forward to the second season.
Mm. Cool.
All right, and now in terms of gaming news that we have, PlayStation's first party studios have now been rebranded as PlayStation Studios with the launch of the PlayStation 5. Now, I don't know if you saw this video which was tweeted out.
Oh,
It's
I saw the
basically,
video. The MCU.
yes, it's basically the square, triangle, X, circle with the various Sony exclusive characters. It's very Marvel like,
Mm.
you know.
Just a bit.
How did you feel?
Um, I'm surprised this wasn't a thing that already existed. Because isn't Xbox Game Studios, isn't that already a thing?
Thing is, like, it did already exist, but they weren't ever like named like PlayStation Studios. I think they were called something like Sony Interactive Entertainment, something,
Mm.
something like really long.
You know what? They should have copied from their movie studio and called it Sony Pictures Universe of First Party Games.
Amazing, but no, like you say with the Xbox Studios, this is mainly a marketing thing where they'll probably just slap on the sticker on their exclusives instead of it saying PlayStation exclusive at the top.
Oh, so
Like,
you'll say PlayStation Studios.
yeah, that's what I'm presuming is
Yeah,
going to
I
happen.
like it. Yeah, it's very.
And I think as well, they were talking about branching out their games into the TV department and movies. And I assume this has something to do with it. With obviously The Last of Us getting a HBO series, I presume we'll get PlayStation Studio Presents in that as well as Uncharted.
Yeah, yeah, I hadn't thought about that. Yeah.
But yeah, so there's that. But speaking of PlayStation,
From here on out, it's
Ghost
just
of
a PlayStation podcast, isn't it? For the next
pretty much,
good knows how
yeah,
long.
Ghost of Tsushima. Yes, that's right. It's pronounced Tsushima, not Tushima.
Tsushima. That's how he
Yes.
says it in that video, isn't it?
Yes. Dropped a state of play during Summerfest, which is hosted by Jeff Keighley. And this game has caught my eye for a very long time. And it has various new mechanics in it where there will be no map and you'll be guided by the wind for your traveling to your locations. There's going to be the option to play the game in completely Japanese, as well as a samurai cinema mode, which is very interesting. And it will be where you'll be allowed to turn the game black and white as a homage to the old classical samurai movies of that era. And yeah, are you intrigued for this game?
Yes. I'm way more excited for it now than I was before because we hadn't seen gameplay for like 2 years. It felt like, and now we've had a look at it. You could definitely see a lot of other games in it. It looks like they've got like Assassin's Creed with almost like Red Dead and Arkham, but they've done it in a way where it doesn't feel like it's a ripoff. And I am super excited about it. I'm really excited about it, and the idea of being able to play him like black and white, uh, and the voice track, the Japanese voice track, I really think would be great to like add immersion. I'm definitely probably going to be playing it. Definitely, probably, but going to be playing with the Japanese voice track, and that photo mode looked amazing.
Yes, I was going to say, yeah, the photo mode looks absolutely
That's
beautiful
all. I,
and
I
very
apologize.
creative.
I apologize in advance for anyone who follows me on Twitter because that's all that's going to be.
That's the thing. I think they were saying that you'll be able to do videos as well, which is really intriguing. So, but like you say, I've been saying for ages, as you know, that this is the dark horse for Game of the Year. I've been backing it for absolutely ages, and I'm really intrigued to see how it plays off. And I love the fact that you can play as the honorable samurai or the dishonorable ghost, which will allow you to completely change your play styles, as well as
Mm,
the ability where if you do play as the samurai and you kill someone, you can bow. I absolutely love that.
it's pretty cool.
It's very, very cool.
Mm,
And and I love the fact that you can change your samurai stance when you're fighting different enemies.
mm.
Like, I love that attention to detail. And did you notice when you're playing as the ghost that the AI does the fear thing that Batman does
Yeah,
in the
yeah, that's what I
arcades?
was saying. Yeah, it's very cool, and how like they seem to be scared of you. You know, when you're
Yes,
just walking around, like there was a guy who was like on his back, laying on the. He was kind of like trying to crawl away from you. I thought that was really cool.
I wonder if you could leave him and he'll run away and tell other people,
Who knows?
because you always leave one to send the message. That was dark. I do apologize.
Yeah.
But speaking of Summerfest, recently Ubisoft announced a conference for July 12th called Forward, a virtual conference where they'll be showcasing their games for the upcoming PlayStation 5, Xbox Series X slot of next generation games. Here we're expected to see more gameplay, actual gameplay of Assassin's Creed Valhalla and various other titles that they've been working on. One rumored triple A game to be there is Far Cry 6, I think is what they're on, or 7, or wherever it is. But how do you feel about this?
I'm not gonna lie. I've kind of with Far Cry. Far Cry. The only time I thought it was really good was 3. I own
Yeah.
3 and 4, and that's it. I haven't played Primal. I don't own 5 because it just didn't feel. From what I saw, it looked good, and apparently it was good, but it didn't feel like much of an innovation from 4 or 3. It felt like they kept trying to pretend to be more like 3 instead of pushing the envelope. Um, I might pick up 5 still if it's on discount. I think the settings are really cool. I remember Far Cry 4 in particular had a really cool like Himalayan setting, which I thought was really sick. So depending on where this game's set could make all the difference. So I mean, I'd have to. The idea of them saying, "Oh, a new Far Cry is coming," I'm just kind of like, "Well, yeah, obviously." I kind of need to see it before I get excited, you know?
That's the thing. I feel like all of Ubisoft's games feel very much the same. Like they all have the viewpoint tower mechanic and everything like that. And in terms of Far Cry, like you were saying, 3 was the last one I was really excited for. And then obviously after a certain character is, killed off, the game kind of goes downhill.
Mm.
Far Cry 5, I love the setting and the plot of it, but again, it just feels exactly the same as any of the
Didn't the
Far Cry
world
game.
get nuked at the end of Far Cry 5?
Yeah, I think so, something like that. I know it had something to do with cults or something. It, it's a weird game.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, the bad guy is like Jared Leto or something. I don't know.
Yeah, it's a strange game. But no, like you say, it's going to be interesting to see what they actually end up showing. And I know there's stuff that they haven't actually done much for, like Beyond Good and Evil and everything, which got announced ages ago. What's happening with that? Um, and also probably more Watch Dogs for Watch
Oh yeah,
Dogs
Watch
3, is it
Dogs
now?
Legion. Good grief.
Yeah, which I absolutely think's rubbish.
I mean, we'll see. I don't know. I think the appeal of playing as a granny is he's gonna wear off very thin.
Yeah, I feel like it's going to be
It's
one of
gonna wear
those.
thin very fast.
I could see it doing well on YouTube, just as like a comedy compilation, but I don't.
Yeah, yeah,
But
yeah.
speaking again of Summerfest, a big thing dropped, which was Unreal Engine 5 was revealed running on the PlayStation 5. This was a tech demo which had kind of like an Uncharted vibe. This engine will also be used for Xbox Series X and PC. This is the first glimpse at a PlayStation 5. What did you think?
I thought it looked insane. I thought, well, the character model was clearly meant to look cartoony, but I thought the environment was insane. Triangles the game, but it was mental. It was mental, just like the lighting and just how everything looked. It was man. I mean, I'm not going to pretend like I know any of the science or technology behind it, but from what I saw, very excited. I'm just glad to see something off the PS5 at least because they're so secretive. I just want to see it.
Yes. That's the thing. It's a very intriguing marketing technique by Sony to be so quiet for a very long time. I think they're just waiting for Microsoft to announce everything and then to just undercut them. Uh, but no, I was very impressed with this engine mechanic and everything like that. But like you say, I don't really know much about technology and all that. Like I just saw something pretty and I went, "Ooh, that's pretty," like a little magpie. Um, but no, like you say, the lighting looks fantastic. I love the sound emphasis as well. There's going to be a lot of like emphasis on sound. It seems next generation
Mm,
as well as lighting. But yeah, like you said, the character models could use some work. But again, it did just kind of seem like the character was just meant to be cartoony.
mm. Uh, yeah, I mean, that's just a tech demo, though, isn't it? Yeah, it's not going to be like an actual game that you can buy.
No,
But it very much
like
almost looked like that's what like a new Tomb Raider could look like, on this system.
yeah, exactly. Yeah, a lot of people were asking if it was a game or not. But yeah, it's just the tech demo and everything. But it's still very impressive. And like
Mm.
you say, it did look like it could be a new Tomb Raider.
Mm.
Now, here's some interesting news that not everybody knows about. A game called The Culling Origins is coming back. Now, in case you didn't know, The Culling originally came out as a battle royale game. It was one of the very first battle royale games to use the whole game show styling. It dropped. It was okay, but a lot of the other games did better, like PUBG and like Fortnite and everything. And then it released a sequel, which had a terrible gamer base where the servers ended up only really having at max 11 people because hardly anybody played this game. That's how bad it was and how broken it was. It's made by a very small studio, but it was garbage. But they're bringing it back with the Culling Origins, and now there's a bit of a pricing scandal. Now, I don't know if you know about this.
I know nothing.
So, the Culling Origins is releasing for $5.99, or if you've already bought it, you get to keep it, of course. Now, with this game, for $5.99, you get one free daily token to play one match online during the day. If you win your match, you get a token back and you get to play another game. However, if you fail, you then have the option to buy various token packs. The 3-pack token is $99. For a 10-pack token is $299. If you buy a 20-pack, it's $4.99. For an unlimited online pass, it's $1.99 for 7 days, or it's a 30-day one for $5.99. Now, let me repeat. You pay $5.99 for this game to have one free daily token. How is that free?
I hadn't even thought about that. Yeah.
It's so bad. For the love of God, please do not support this game. As much as I feel bad for the amount of people who put in work towards this, do not do this.
I just hate
Because,
this whole form of games now where everything is like you got to pay just to play this kind of stuff, where it's like, well, I can't
yeah,
just play a flat out fee and just have it.
that's the thing. The thing as well with this is that this is coming to console and it's got a mobile gaming system. And
Yeah.
that's what's completely insulting about it.
Mm,
Because if people start accepting this is going to be a frequent thing that AAA studios are going to start doing.
that's the thing.
And
Yeah.
we can't allow that to happen. So, for the love of God, please do not support this.
No, that sounds proper scandalous. This
Like,
is a Bethesda move, surely. No.
and the thing is, as well, on top of this, I haven't played Fortnite, but it's better than this garbage. Uh, I haven't played PUBG, but it's better than this garbage.
Mm.
So yeah, I don't understand why they think they can charge for this when the game is completely broken and struggles to even get 11 players for a game that's meant to be a battle royale game.
Oh, Battle Royale. Good
Yeah,
God.
and you know what the funny thing is?
Well,
This is coming to Xbox first. So
right.
Microsoft has paid some sort of money to have it on there first.
Says a lot, doesn't it?
It does. Yeah.
Um, does it even graphically or anything? Does it even look good?
No, it looks like PUBG but worse.
Right. Even PUBG looks
That,
pretty
that
old.
yes, PUBG looks terrible.
I just.
For the love of God, please
You might have said
don't
it.
support
I
this.
might have not heard it. Like, is this like a big studio has made it?
No, it's. I think it was around the time where like battle royale games were just starting off.
And it took them this long to develop, or has it
No,
just come out?
no, the original came out ages ago, and the
Oh,
original came out with the boom of the battle royale, so it was quite popular at the time.
got it. Yeah.
But then, because Fortnite and PUBG all came out, which were fundamentally better, the gamer base moved over,
Mm.
and ever since then, like I said, people have been struggling to get like games of more than like 11 people. Like maximum, you're getting 11. On average, apparently, people who have played this are saying that they're getting a match of like 2 people, and usually before the game even starts, somebody leaves,
Mm.
so you can't even get a proper game, or you get bored of trying to find another player on the map because there's nobody in it.
Yeah.
Garbage. Do not support this. I'm very sorry. Now, swiftly moving on, but also sticking to the topic of battle royale games.
Mm.
You know what else has a battle royale game? Call of Duty. Yes, that's right. Call of Duty is apparently coming back once again with the new rumored location to be the Cold War. Now, the studio rumored to be leading this is Treyarch, who usually always do the Cold War setting. But again, they could be supported by Sledgehammer and Raven Studios. Now, I personally do not enjoy Call of Duty, but I know you have a little bit of a soft spot for it.
I enjoy
How
it
do
when
you
I
feel?
can. I enjoy it when I can actually play it. The Wi-Fi here is so bad. So this is about Cold War, right? Call of Duty Black.
Yes.
Yeah. So is this Black Ops Cold War? Call of Duty
So
Black
I
Ops Cold War.
see. I don't believe it's going to be following the Black Ops thing at all. Even if it does, I think it might be a prequel.
Mm. Well, I think the first one is set during the Cold War, isn't it?
Yep.
So it's like, what is this going to be, like a soft reboot similar to the first Black Ops? Or I mean, why can't I think Black Ops? I'm surprised isn't just like its own franchise now.
See, I think it might be the because I believe Black Ops 4 was like poorly reviewed and people hated it. The Call of Duty Cold War, if it actually does happen, will be like a soft reboot for that franchise, like Modern Warfare was.
Mm. Yeah, it's yeah. I'm isn't it Sledgehammer meant to be making the game? Usually it goes Infinity War, Sledgehammer, Treyarch.
I think yeah, that's what usually happens, but I think it might be Treyarch because Treyarch usually just do the Cold War setting.
That's what I'm thinking. It's like, so it's just gone Treyarch, Infinity War, Treyarch. Um, I'm I'm not gonna lie, I'm a little bit just like okay, Modern Warfare was the only time I could kind of like accept, okay, you're kind of soft rebooting this franchise. But if Treyarch does it with Black Ops, I'm like, oh, okay, so you're not going to try and make anything new here. You're just going to rely on what was popular before, you know. I'm surprised.
No,
Like,
yeah.
I'm surprised they haven't called it. You know, with Black Ops 4, it was just Black Ops I. Why wasn't this one just called Call of Duty Black Ops I?
I don't know. Like I said, I personally really don't care for Call of Duty at all. Warzone's okay because it's a bit different, like I was saying earlier. But at the same time, I've been off Call of Duty since 2008. Like, it just does not interest me. But even if it does interest you, comment below. Let us know if you're excited. There you are. And our final bit of news is that Rockstar's Red Dead Redemption has finally turned 10 years old. The game released in 2010 and started another franchise for the studio. Now, that makes me feel old. So,
It does, doesn't it? Christ alive.
yeah.
It's 10 years old. Yeah. And they had
Gee.
the artist who sung the song Far Away. You know, when John
Mhm.
Master goes to Mexico, they had him, they posted a video of him playing the song. And it's so weird, man. I remember watching the trailers for Red Dead 1 being just like, wow, this looks amazing. This looks so cool. And back then, that was before you read any online reviews, or for me, like I'd never read any reviews, didn't even really know what it was about. I was like, cowboy game, sick, you know. I hadn't even played GTA 4, so it was just kind of like at that point, at least I had. So that was like my first real like Rockstar game. So it has like a lot of personal attachment to me, and it was the first one I had, I think, apart from maybe AC2, where it had like a really emotional story, especially towards the end.
No, yeah, I could definitely see where you're coming
Like
from with that as well.
like
Like,
AC2 had a cinematic story, but it wasn't nowhere near like as so tragic as Red Dead One's one is.
mhm. Yeah, no, I can definitely see where you're coming from. Like, for me personally, Red Dead Redemption is definitely up there in regards to the PlayStation 3 era of, games of the generation. I mean, my personally pick is The Last of Us for that, but regardless, Red Dead Redemption is a massive like game, and it completely changed the industry for what we know, with the amount of detail in that world, and being able to make the story from scratch as well. Because remember, Rockstar used to just rely upon Grand Theft Auto pretty much all the time.
Yeah.
So for them to just be like, yeah, we're making a western now, well done. That's all we can say. Um, but yeah, no, it's a completely compelling story, and
John
I would
Marston
be,
is easily like one of the most memorable characters like potentially ever in fiction.
yeah, I would definitely agree with that. Personally, though, we all know Arthur Morgan's better. Uh,
But I'm saying how John Marston is still like the face of that franchise.
Yeah, of course, because obviously he's the one that started it all, and like without him, it wouldn't really exist.
Mm.
But no, like it's great to see a series so good turn 10 years old, and now probably most likely for the PlayStation 5, Xbox, we're going to be getting a remaster of that, I reckon,
I hope
because we get
so.
remasters of everything
Well,
anyway.
there was like big rumors that there was going to be a remastered version of Red Dead 1 inside Red Dead 2, because a lot of, at the end of Red Dead 2, you get to unlock the map of Red Dead 1 basically. And
Well, that would have been actually quite cool.
but there was also this glitch where I mean, spoiler alert for Red Dead 2, you should have played it by now. But, in the epilogue onwards, you play as John Marston, and there's this glitch that has occurred online to a lot of people where he says lines in the voice of Jack Marston.
That's weird.
Yeah.
What?
So people are like, oh, is this like a glitch that, a potentially story DLC for Red Dead 1's coming?
Hmm.
It was so many hints that that was going to happen, and it just didn't. I still think it could potentially happen, but I felt like if it was going to happen, they would have announced it, at least like
Yeah,
this week, especially.
see, I think what happened with that is the same thing that happened with the Grand Theft Auto 5 story. Because remember, we were going to be getting DLC for that, and then eventually online became, a jackpot money mining sensation for Rockstar that they kind of forgot about it.
Mm.
So I presume that's kind of what happened, because like they're really pushing Red Dead Online and nobody really plays it. uh,
Yeah, it did kind of drop off, didn't it?
well, that's the thing. I played about uh 10 minutes of Red Dead Online and got bored.
I do want to I want to give it another go.
Yeah, I could definitely be open to giving it another go personally as well.
Mm,
I think as well at the time with Red Dead Online, because it's the Wild West, you really do need a group of people, or else you really can't do much.
mm. Yeah, it's. I remember I used to play Red Dead 1 online with a bunch of mates from school like all the time, and it was so cool. But since this sounds proper depressing, but since this PS4 genre generation, I mean, has taken off, I haven't really played online with particularly anybody, to be honest with you. So not out of choice. So I mean, that's kind of a bit more of why I haven't really played Red Dead Online. But I don't know. Wait, hang on, Burkhardt, you've got a PS4. What are we doing? Let's do it right now.
Yeah, why not? Yeah,
Yeah,
I'm down.
end the podcast. Goodbye, everyone.
But no, I'm very much open to that. My thing has always been because I was a story player, nobody played the games I played.
Yeah.
So, and I don't really like Call of Duty, so
Yeah.
I didn't really play online for the PlayStation 4 and like the only game that I constantly play online is Grand Theft Auto Online.
I can't remember the last time I played GTA Online.
And like the main reason for that is because obviously they had a bunch of DLC for it that came out,
Yeah, of
like
course.
Casino Heist
Yeah,
and
lots of
everything
free.
like that.
It was all free as well, wasn't it?
Yeah, but also like the amount of creativity you can have with it. Like me and my cousin, when we get bored, we'll do Top Gear races with it.
Mm.
So like, because you can just piss about,
And you could also like build your own companies and become a what was it like? You become a CEO, but you could also like run a biker gang and do all this other stuff, couldn't you?
yeah. So the way it works is it's kind of grindy, to be honest.
Yeah, just a bit. I gave the biker one a go, and I was like, "This is taking too long."
I bought a meth lab, and it was the worst option I've ever done.
that
Yes.
sentence out of context.
Yes, it was during the time Breaking Bad was on.
Yeah,
I won't deny it. And now though, I've got 10 million, so I'm rolling in it.
I probably
That's
got
all I'm
about
saying.
$10. That's probably what I got.
Like, but the Rockstar now, it's all about just selling the shark cards for GTA Online and everything, because that's I would presume that's also what's delayed Grand Theft Auto 6 for a while, because they can just make money online.
I think
I wouldn't even be surprised if online becomes its own thing.
Well, I know you can buy it separately.
Oh, really?
Yeah, you can buy GTA Online completely separately to the story.
Well, that's not surprising, is it?
No, not at all. But
Yeah.
I don't think they anticipated for it to be as big as it was.
No, definitely not.
Yeah, but I think they've only just started GTA 6, which I mean,
Yes.
good lord, mate. It's been what was it? There was an 8-year gap between Red Dead 1 and Red Dead 2, and it's been 7 years since GTA 5 came out. GTA 5 is 7 years old. Christ, where is my life going?
The thing is, it's quite mad the amount of support that game has had.
Yeah, it's had more support than than nearly any other game I've seen.
Like, I get it's grindy and everything, and I hate the grind for it, but I respect the amount of free content they've given away.
Well, it sells so high, like literally at the end of every month, it's always in the top 5, top 10 best-selling games of that month. And did you see the Epic Games Store was giving away GTA 5 for free, and it crashed instantly?
Yeah.
Which is so many people don't have it.
No, I think it's because Rockstar wasn't expecting their servers to crash, which I really don't understand.
But I'm just like, how do this many people not have GTA 5 already? It's been out 7 years. I feel like if you were going to have it, you would have got it by this point.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, it's weird.
But I mean, we had the same question for when Uncharted 4 was given away as well. So
Yeah. But anyway, back to Red Dead.
Yeah.
But Red Dead, I think I like Red Dead a lot more than Grand Theft Auto, got to be said. But yeah, it's Red Dead 1 was so good. It's weird now, especially after playing 2, how Red Dead 1 really does feel like a sequel to something that just hadn't happened yet.
Yeah, no, I definitely agree with that as well.
And the way they almost wrote Red Dead 2, it's like, I feel like there's no way they could have written Red Dead 1 without knowing that they were going to make the second one.
I think the thing is as well that they must have anticipated it being as big as it was.
Yeah, I think that's why they lent so much on, because Red Dead very much uses a lot of the same mechanics from GTA, and I think they did that to maybe even play it safe. But
yeah, no, you're not wrong. But here's the thing: there's one thing I want from Rockstar, and that's a pirate game.
Could you
fucking do it?
I tell you what though, I don't want a Red Dead 3. I do not.
No,
want
I don't want
it. If you do it, you've got to make it so detached from. I don't want it to be associated with anything to do with Red Dead 1 or 2. Like, leave all of those characters alone. Maybe reference the areas of the map, but That's it. I don't want anything to do with that. I never want to hear from that gang again. Like, that story is done. You know?
I'd be open to playing as Vandalin.
No, because it's like, you know where it's going. Like, I mean, the same could be said with Red Dead 2, but it's like there's no what. I mean, the whole part of like, what could Dutch really do to redeem himself? I think the only bit of redemption that Dutch got was right at the end of Red Dead 2, where he shoots Micah, and that's the whole reason why John doesn't then shoot him at the end of Red Dead 1. But I feel like I feel like it would just be kind of like a repeat of Red Dead 2, you know? And
You could always spin it off and have Red Dead something else
that's what I feel like
rather
it
than it
should.
being
That's
a
what I
company.
feel like it absolutely should do. You
Yeah,
know?
I definitely agree with that.
Yeah.
Like Red Dead Revolution or something, set it in Mexico.
Set
I
it
don't
during the
know.
Civil War,
That'd be quite good.
because they mention that. Because here's the in Red Dead 2, they mention the Civil War a lot. Like, you see lots of homeless veterans in like every city with missing limbs. So you know the Civil War did happen in this world. So why not? I don't know. Set it during that. That could be pretty cool. Like, maybe like a gang or something, or just, I don't know, just a maybe just do the one lone character like in Red Dead 1, but with the backdrop of the Civil War of the North versus West. That could be really cool. Like, imagine you got like the world of Red Dead 2. You know how interactive and dynamic that is, but just imagine like you come across maybe just bombed out shelters, or like big like war zones that have just been like, maybe a war has happened, but you're just coming through the aftermath on your horse, like by yourself, and it's all foggy, and there's like all these, just the aftermath of war around you. That could be so cool, I think.
Yeah, to be fair, that could slightly work out because it is still the Civil War is still around the time of the American frontier.
Yeah, it was during Civil War happened, I think. When did this? It's 1860s. Where is it? The
Yeah, so the Civil War happened during 1861 to 1865.
Yeah, yeah.
So that would still technically fit.
So you were like in the golden age of the West then.
Yeah, it'll be around that time because, like, I mean, it's always argued when the Wild West technically ended, but it's around 1895. Some even believe it to be 1920s
Mm.
because obviously after that, the whole Industrial Revolution of like England and everything.
That's what's so mad about Red Dead 1. At the end of Red Dead 1, it's 1914. World War One's going on, and there's still people. That's the
Yeah,
only bit where I'm sure that did people like that was still around. But I'm like, are we still doing cowboys in 1914? And I'm sure there were some about, but yeah. I mean,
yeah,
that,
I
that
think
that
it.
that was the whole point of the first one, though, wasn't it? How it's very much the ending of it all.
Yeah, but I think it's because obviously it's around the time where society is actually booming now, because like the Wild West was, pun intended, very wild.
Yeah, well, that's the whole point. Like, the very beginning, like the very first thing you see in Red Dead 1 is they're showing a car, and they're showing all these people, and they're all civilized, and it starts in Blackwater, doesn't it? Like, it
Yeah.
starts in this proper modern esque civilized looking place. And Red Dead 2 was like the beginning of the end, and Red Dead 1 really feels like the end. Like, I don't think you could ever set a game after Red Dead 1, like Jack and all that, because it's that time period's over. That's why I feel like if you could go back a few years and set it during something like the Civil War, during the golden age, because we've had two games where the whole thing is the Wild West is ending. Why don't we set it during whilst it's booming? Like, everyone's kind of about it. Really show like the wild times, like the golden age of the West. I think that could be really cool.
I'd quite like to see maybe use the characters of Butch Cassidy and the Sundance Kid and make something with that.
Yeah, yeah, definitely.
Like, obviously, don't call them that, but
Yeah,
you can base it sort of around that.
yeah, yeah.
But we'll have to see, won't we?
Mm.
Like, it'll be very intriguing. I'd even be open to playing as a bounty hunter who goes around finding the posses and taking them down.
Mm.
That'd be quite cool.
Yeah.
But
'Cause, I mean, they're gonna make it. They're gonna make a Red Dead. Not maybe not a Red Dead 3, but there's no way they're not gonna leave that world alone. Because didn't like Red Dead 2 made like $750 million in like its first few days, I think.
yeah, I think you're right. It was quite. It did make quite a lot of money.
Yeah, it was mental.
But it's we'll have to see what happens next, really, because obviously Rockstar still has Bully technically in its locker that they could go back to.
Make Bully 2. Please, just do it. Make us all happy.
What's the obsession with it? I never played the first one.
It was just fun. It was just different. It was like GTA if you were like a little shit. It was really fun. Like you had like a spud gun. It was kind of hard to really describe. It just had this weird innocent kind of feel to it, but it was also really funny. It was quite crude. Um, but I don't know. It was just really funny. I played the scholarship edition, which came out in like 2008. I played that
Mm.
when I was like 14, because that's when I got really Red Dead kind of really sparked. Oh, Rockstar's like an actual. They're like really good. So that's when I got GTA 4, and that's when I got Bully. And yeah, Bully was just a lot of fun, man. It was really fun. Like imagine GTA, but set like in a school. It's not like but the extreme violence isn't there, but it's hard
Okay.
to describe. But it's really charming, and it'd just be nice for them to do something outside of the GTA and Red Dead franchise, you know, because we got what was it? We had uh for years now we haven't had anything really new from Rockstar because of GTA Online, I think killed a lot of their other stuff that they could have made. But we had what like GTA 4, like 2008 we had GTA 4, 2009 we got the story DLCs for GTA 4, 2010 you got Red Dead, 2011 you got LA Noire, 2012 you got Mad Max 3, not Mad Max 3, Max Payne 3, and then 2013 you got GTA 5, and then we didn't get anything for what 5 years.
Yeah, like you say, GTA Online really occupied their time,
Yeah, I would
and
love to see an LA Noire 2.
the only issue with that is that Team Bondi, who did all that face animation, closed down.
Yeah,
But I'd be open to LA Noir too. I'd even, like I was saying, I really, really want Rockstar to do Pirates.
yeah,
Like, there's nothing I want more than that. I think that could be absolutely incredible.
that would be really cool, wouldn't it?
But I don't know if they're listening. But
Could
there
you
you are.
imagine? Yeah.
But no, that's it. Otherwise,
Okay. Yeah. Well, this was a good one. We got through it all relatively briefly. I thought we were going to be here
yeah,
for a while, but
yeah. So did I.
yeah,
But apparently, that's everything that's came out this week.
yeah,
But hopefully, next week we'll have more information for everybody.
yeah, yeah. Next week should be pretty good. We will be back next week. We won't be skipping next week. But yeah, if you're watching this on YouTube, put your comments, write comments in the comment section on your thoughts on all these topics. We'd love to hear about it, like especially like what you think of the Snyder cut and what you think could potentially happen with the Red Dead franchise, all that kind of stuff. Yeah, say goodbye, Birkin.
Goodbye, everybody.
All right, bye everybody, see you next week.